Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Happy Monday. And we have two really important things that are going on, both starting today and tomorrow, that we need to talk about. And that is going to be what I'm going to call deck of baits. Now, depending on how many soul stones that you have available to you, if you want to go in for it, that's fine. The rewards are just not particularly pleasing to me, but that's just me. We'll talk about it a little bit. Also, we have an upcoming Pelops Pelops Titan event on the back of the Fusion. You may have already finished his Fusion, and if you have not, I think you still have a few more days to do so. But starting tomorrow, you are going to be able to collect his perfect souls to get some red stars for Pelops. We're going to be talking exactly what you're going to need to do, and also where I would recommend as far as Pelops the character. Now, before we get started with the rest of the video, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, get out from under that rock. Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholen, Falbeard absolutely free, and Stag Knight, Rector Drath, and Farrakhan the Fat. Some amazing epics at level 10, 20, and 30. Don't forget that you can also get your hands on this Void legendary support character by the name of Tahanarak. All you gotta do is put in the promo code Desert Queen within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, so let's get cracking here on today's video. So we have the Verdant Deck of Fates, which launched today. It's going to be available until a Friday, right? 4 days from now. Now, this is the St. Patrick's event, and it was a little disappointing, right? Because not only are the rewards kind of lackluster, but last year they did actually have Con Branchbreaker, who was a Void legendary character that they actually had available as a guaranteed champion for this same event last year. So, bit ashamed that they didn't even, I don't know, not that it was St. Patrick's related. They could have chucked in something, or just thrown it Edward because right. We still have the Edward Kenway event coming around the corner at some point in the next 3 weeks, I think, or so. Now, these are the rewards on the Deck of Fates, and it's just not particularly amazing. It's mostly relic materials, right, for the Wings of Winter, the Assassin's Creed Collapse stuff. There's a Primal Shard in there. There's a legendary book in there, but honestly, it's just really nothing special in here, right? This is kind of the same sort of stuff. If you get the matched color chests, it's really not worth it. That being said, well, I still don't think it's worth it because I was going to say there is boosted chances on the Eternal Soul Stones to get. There's a 50% chance on an Eternal Soul Stone to get a 6th red soul. The problem is that there are so many, even with the wish list, there are so many characters in these pools that it just realistically, I don't think it's really worth it to go in on this. Now, times that I don't mind pulling soul stones tends to be when it's a mortal soul stones, the first one at a 2x, because these are small coins I don't mind spending, and it's the immortal soul stones and the eternals that I tend to make sure that I hold enough of for a guaranteed legendary event. You got to understand that basically you need 40,000 points for a Deck of Fates, and for characters they tend to be 700 for an immortal and 3,500 for an eternal, so you can kind of add that up yourself. I don't know what they're doing for. Usually they're a bit more generous on these ones. So yeah, it's not 4,500 and 900. This is like the highest range I think that it tends to go. So it's entirely up to you, but I don't think it's a great idea. Now, coming tomorrow, we do have the Victorious Titan event. This is going to be for your Pelops souls. For those of you who have completed the Pelops Fusion, I guess if you didn't, then you have a free 2 weeks. Titan events, for those of you who are newer, Titan events are very similar to Fusion events. They last for 2 weeks. In a bit, and some change, I think usually about that. And this is going to bridge us until April, essentially. So these are going to run very similar events as you would a Fusion event. There's probably going to be a hidden path event somewhere in this, because usually they do a quote-unquote special event, either a path or a Deck of Fates, but the Deck of Fates is running right now. So more than likely it is going to be a path event later on instead. And who knows what that's going to reward, right? You know what? It's probably going to be an Edward Kenway path event, honestly, because this reminds me of when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were running. There was an April O'Neil Titan event, and in that there was a Raphael Deck of Fates. Now, I think that they're going to do the opposite. They're going to do a Red Stars for Pelops, and in that there's going to be a path for Edward Kenway. That's just my prediction here. Anyways, of course, the main drive to do this Titan event, other than what could be a future guaranteed event, is going to be these souls, right, for Pelops. Now, let's talk about Pelops, because I just recently unlocked him. I haven't really leveled him up or done anything yet. I don't know where he fits in my roster right now, because I don't exactly... He's a great character, but I don't exactly need what he does at the moment. So he is immune to stun, HP burn, and petrification. Just to start things off, he is based... His scales on HP, okay? Whenever an enemy attacks this champion, has a 100% chance of placing HP burn debuff. Great. For 2 turns. Basically, less chance if he... So if he's under decreased defense, a lot of these things just don't work as frequently. Petrification debuff whenever he gets attacked as well. I like that he's HP, which means he's not super squishy. His A3, we're just going backwards a bit, is a buff that places increased attack and magma shield on all for 2 turns. This is good on a cooldown of 3 when it's booked. 30% shields there of max HP and a taunt buff for 2 turns. But it's this passive, right, honestly. Decreased damage, all allies receive by 20% while this champion is not under decreased defense. This is huge. 20% is a lot of mitigation, right? A2, Gorgora's Bane is a 1-hit attack. It ignores 50% if they're under 50% defense if they're under HP burn, and it can go up higher if there are more. The damage inflicted goes up by every turn remaining on any burns on him or the target. Oh, any debuffs. Sorry, not just burns. Any debuffs. So the more debuffs on the enemies, the better. This is going to hit really, really hard. The damage inflicted and be a blah, 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 HP burn. If the damage inflicted is less than 50%, sorry, places a stun. So it's okay in PvP as well. A1 also does a decreased attack debuff, which is pretty nice, you know, for clan boss or something like this. You know, debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if it's under HP burn. Okay, that's cool. So you don't necessarily need to put accuracy on him that much. Because if all you're worried about is this, then you can build them in a very HP-centric kind of build, or speed and defense and that kind of stuff, right? To get more of this stuff around, you would need a little bit of speed. Now, in terms of what stats you want, well, it's going to be HP and probably defense, but if you're building him for crit damage, if you think he's... I heard his damage is decent, but I don't know if he's... HP characters don't tend to be as strong DPS-wise as attackers or defense-based DPS champions. Like, for example, obviously, he's no Hecaton. Hecaton's a defense-based nuker. He hits really hard, but I just find that characters in the HP category just don't tend to hit as hard. So it's up to you if you want to go all in on him to get his 5 red. Now, I do want to talk about it a little bit because I want to show you guys the rewards. So if you're not familiar with how Titan event rewards look, this is milestone 1. There's milestone 1 through 5, and there's a certain amount of Titan points that you need to collect from the various events that are running within the 2 weeks. It's very easy to get the 1 red. This is from Cassandra from a few months ago, from January. That the 1 red is super easy. You can literally just blindfold yourself and you will get a 1 red perfect soul. Heck, the 3 red perfect soul, also very easy to get. There's a total of 1,750 Titan points. So to get 600 out of 1,750 is just less than 1/3 of all of the events. It is not that hard either. So getting the 3 red is easy. 1 red is going to give you bonus to HP. 2 red for attack, which doesn't really matter for Pelops, and then 3 red for defense. I like to go at least to the 3 red. You could do this pretty easily without having to sacrifice a lot of resources over the next 2 weeks, in my opinion. And then finally, you need to go a little bit harder if you want the 5 red soul. It's 1,500 points out of 1,750. It is better for the blessings. You do get a 30% crit damage on a 4 red, and 5 red gives you accuracy and resistance. Some of these things matter. If you're trying to go more of a DPS build for Pelops, then you might want this 5 red to get to the 4. Like 4 is typically where a lot of DPS characters want to be, but that's not really his role. So it's kind of more of the icing on the cake. I would be perfectly fine with the 3 red for Pelops and walking away and then not expending a ton of resources. That's just me. 3 red and chill. I did the exact same thing with Cassandra, actually. So 3 red and chill is pretty normal for most of my Titan events that have souls. I would only go out of my way if it's a very strong DPS champion where that 5 red is going to make a significant difference. But that is just me, and I'm more to that early and mid-game audience. If you're a super endgame sweaty player and you want to go to that 5 red, be my guest, and that's something that you can do with your time. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I guess we kind of, for the most part, we kind of have this scripted over the next 2 weeks. I do have a feeling, however, that there is still, I mean, there's only like 3-4 weeks left. There has to be an Edward Kenway sitting in this Titan event somewhere, but it's obviously going to be probably, I don't know, at a bare minimum next week, maybe even in 2 weeks' time, just before the Titan event ends. I think it's probably going to be a path event. I probably will bite on this because I do want him, mostly because my Bannerlord's DPS are terrible. So that's why. But otherwise, let me know what's going on with you in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to this Pelops 2 weeks Titan Red Star event? Otherwise, before we go, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, get out from under that rock. Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholin Falbeard absolutely free. Also, Stag Knight, Rector Drath, and Farrakhan the Fat at account levels 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget that you can get yourself another legendary champion by the name of Tahanarak, and all you gotta do is use the promo code Desert Queen in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you all on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.